selling the rights to a project.
Well, let's talk about a solemn trance. Why don't you tell the audience the plot of that?
Solemn Trance is a beautiful story. It was crazy as Miss Perryman is who is just a phenom in the city of Detroit. She casted the project, the movie. It's a full feature, and she also had an acting role in it. And she did a marvelous job. I
I
hope
am
that we can
so
come back and
mean.
premiere that.
Yes, we'll premiere it. Yes.
But yeah, it's a film. It's an AIDS project, and it's about a young lady who gets involved, has a one night stand, and after a situation with her ex husband, and she ends up with HIV. But the issue is she doesn't really know where
Who
she
she
got it
got it?
from. And at the same time, as we get more involved in her story, it's not quite certain if she's the one that's no longer not really a victim. She may be the person that's spreading the disease. So it's a real dramatic piece. I think it has a wonderful theme, a wonderful message behind it, and I can't wait to
And it has
out.
some good actresses in it. Jessica Care Moore is in it. Janine is in it. Janine
From Fabu,
Fabu,
Janine Williams.
right? Just a number of
It's
people.
a number of
Gloria
people.
Ridgway,
From the Ridgway sisters.
Ridgway sisters,
Yeah.
a friend of mine. She's in it. Some really good people are in it, and it's
Dean, who you've seen in so many different movies
right,
in the local area.
right,
Yeah.
right. And I think I can't wait till it comes out because it does have some a good theme, and then some sub stuff going on with the younger people in it. So it's good, and it does have some morals to it.
Absolutely, and it's crazy dealing with the subject matter. Philos is dealing with cancer, and Solemn Trance is dealing with AIDS. It's just
See, we
problematic
have
diseases
so
in the
many
city.
stories. We have so many stories, and that's my thing. I think that we need to tell those other stories instead of
Absolutely.
the same. I see a lot of the same
Stuff.
story.
Right. And in fact, the next project that we're working on, and this one we're praying is a pretty nice budget. Pray with us on that. It's a romance novel, and it's more in the genre of a Will Ferrell. If you know any Will Ferrell's work, I'm a fan.
Right.
It's a
Anchorman.
little different, yeah. So it's a little different from what you would consider or you normally see from a black right.
Well, it's good. It's good because you want mass appeal.
Absolutely.
You really want mass appeal. Now, Anthony, what spurred this interest in film?
I've been loving movies since the beginning. I think entertainment has always been in my blood. When I was young, I remember my uncle who dated Val Benson, who was a renowned playwright at the time. She was ex-wife of one of the Four Tops.
Right.
Yep. And she had a play, and I was probably about 6 or 7 years old when I went. And man, it inspired me something crazy. So after we seen the play, I went back home and rewrote her whole play. And I never.
You did.
I rewrote the whole play at that age, and I didn't really understand it, but it was never pushed, and so I kind of left it, and it was somewhat dormant. And then right after that, I danced a little bit. We danced a little on the scene. We did we were recruited by Moses from the scene to do Thriller around the city of Detroit, and
Oh, wow.
I actually seen a snippet of it on YouTube when we were on the scene. It was during Halloween, and it's a funny. I look like my middle son. It's hilarious. I remember in a moment I thought I was killing it. When I saw it, I realized how
That was
terrible
the scene. It wasn't
I
the
was.
new dance show.
No, I was. I'm old. So
No, you're not old. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it was the scene with Nat Morris.
I know. Sugar, salt, and
And
salt.
then get off today. So yeah.
Well, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh man. First off, my objective, honestly, of course, I want to make money on this full time, and we haven't had that opportunity yet. But that is the plight. And
That comes.
It's coming. It's coming. And right now we're on a grind of pushing the Anthony Cuffie brand. I'm here now with my publicist, Fred Carlton peoples who helping out in that area.
I didn't know it was Fred. I knew it was F.
Fred
but not-
Carlton. He just I'm sorry. Did I
F.
give it away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Fred.
Well, in 5 years, you know, I'm looking to be in the running for a Grammy.
A Grammy.
I mean,
an Oscar.
let me say an Oscar, but Grammy was a slip because we do music as well.
I know.
So I'm sorry.
I know you.
But
did.
yeah, certainly an Oscar.
Wow. You know, and that can happen because one
that's
of
the
my
prayer.
students was nominated for an Oscar last year.
Wow.
One of my
wow.
former students, acting students,
Well,
was
I mean,
nominated.
You have a plethora of students.
yeah,
Every
I
time I go out, they mention, "Hey, do you know Miss Perryman?" Brenda
Anyway.
So yeah.
No,
that's
but
not
he was able to take some money and make a short film,
okay.
and he was one of the 5 nominees
Right,
for
right,
short film. And they interviewed him a lot, and he on national television. They did not win, but well, he won a lot of film festivals.
Right, but he was nominated.
Oh yeah, and
That's
you
awesome.
know, to see him standing up there with the Oscar class,
Right,
and
right.
Steven Spielberg standing right
That's
behind him and
crazy.
everything.
That's
This
crazy.
is something that can be done.
Absolutely.
So it's nothing wrong. You know, sometimes people try to shoot down creativity,
Mm-hmm.
but creativity is so important.
It's phenomenal. It's awesome. I mean, think about it. You're doing something. You're making something completely out of nothing. It's not a technical aspect. It's imagery, and it's something that deals with I mean, the mind is so creative, and when you take someone who's creative, they're so in depth and knowledgeable in so many different areas. It's unreal. So when I meet a talent or another inspiring talent, just the mind is ridiculous.
And part of it is encouragement, because with you and with myself, my mother, they weren't all into what I was doing.
Yeah.
But finally, they came around, and they
Mhm.
saw that that's something that was your passion,
Mm-hmm.
or something that was my passion, and they kind of got on board right there. Because we as black people tend to think that it's so hard in the creative arts to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we don't push our children towards it a lot of times.
And you have to push your kids towards their passion. I mean, that's probably, I'm not going to even say probably, I'm sure that's the purpose of their life. And when you're not connecting them to what their purpose is, they end up leaving here empty.
Empty and doing a job they don't like
They
doing.
don't like doing.
And
It's a
I
sad
believe
waste.
that the things that you find that are your passion when you're young, if you could keep that going, it can work for
Oh,
you.
absolutely. In so many different areas. I know in the entertainment world, so many people want to get involved in it, but you have to be wise. And no matter how much I love singing, I can't sing. So I had to realize what my gift and my talents were and pursue it. So everyone is not going to be a writer. Everyone's not going to be a director, but you might be an agent. You might be a publicist. You might, in some aspect of entertainment, there's an aspect for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes, well, just for example, poetry. Richard did poetry this morning on his show, and I'm a poet. I have 3 books of poetry out. My 4th book is coming out in a few weeks. But it was just poetry.
Mm-hmm.
But this poetry and performing the poetry has taken me all over this country
Right.
on corporate tours. That's why I know about corporate. Lord have mercy, that's something different. But had me speaking and performing the poetry. Nobody ever thought, and I'll never forget, when I was in college, I just liked poetry. And one day I came to my dorm room and they said, Wordsworth, stay out, keep out. You know, people teased me about it.
Right.
And then it started working for me, and I started getting paid for it. And you just got to stick with it. Sometimes everybody's not going to see your vision.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a beautiful wife and beautiful sons and
Thank you,
everything
thank you.
who they're into what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a big sacrifice for them because my time is not typical. I'm constantly busy, which is a good thing sometimes, but it can be very stressful
But you've
as well.
taught too.
I'm in education, so I do have a 9 to 5 again because I'm not doing I'm not getting paid full time for this. It's still a grind for me. So That's why I'm so tied up and busy all the time. But yeah, absolutely. And shout out to all my students in the city, from
What
all the schools I
school?
participated, from Life Skills to Southeastern and Southeastern High School. So wonderful, wonderful family there. I'm just happy to be a part of the educational process in the city of Detroit.
Oh, Southeastern.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in Southeastern High School. I'm very interested
You
in
got
it.
to come visit.
Well, I've been over there. I mean, I took my students over there and they performed
Okay.
some years ago. But I'm just interested in some of the things that I've heard about it and so forth. What do you think? Are the Detroit public schools getting better?
Uh, I believe so. I think right now there's a mirror in front of it, and it's forcing the city to actually look at what we've done. I know when I was a student, education was top notch in the city of Detroit, and then it took a dramatic fall. And as a result of it, I think more politics got in the way more so than anything. And right now there's a mirror in front of it, which is causing change to take place. So I think it's headed in the right direction.
Two quick questions about that. And I didn't mean to get off on that, but do you think that school board members should actually come into it knowing something about education?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
I have issues with the fact
I
that
think
so
so.
many school board members, they really don't know.
To have some connection in some form with education, just to understand the process and the trends. I mean, things have changed so much to where
I
that's
think
a
some people
necessity.
use it as a stepping stone.
Well, I think in life, a lot of people use a lot of things as stepping stones. So I don't think it's any different than life in itself.
Because I see some of the decisions that have been made
Hmm.
and everything, and I said, how did they make that decision? How do they know how children learn? Children learn in different ways, and so you have to be multifaceted as an instructor.
I agree. I agree.
And
It's a challenge.
and you've made some videos with your young people, right?
Yeah, I try to use their gifts and talent
Absolutely.
to exploit. I think entertainment is a good way to preach education and to teach,
Absolutely.
especially in today's generation. So it's important.
Well, it's a visual society.
Absolutely. So
And peers can teach peers, and my time is up. Oh my God, my time is up, and I don't want to go too far and we be cut off cable and everything.
right.
Mr. Cuffie, when you going to bring Asylum Trance back?
As soon as it's done, I'm sure Mr. Carlton will give you a phone call.
Oh, of course, of
And,
course.
I just want to say also, Retrace, we did produce a soundtrack for that too, along with my music partner, Wimani Page, who's a phenomenal vocalist and producer as well. So you'll be hearing more from that.
Oh,
aspect of
okay.
it as
Well, we'll be ready. I'll come back to the show.
Thank you.
Oh, well, my pleasure. Everybody, this has been wonderful. See you again on Table Talk this afternoon. And I'd like to thank,
Can I tell them about? They can reach me on Facebook.
oh, yes.
At Anthony Cuffie. You can reach me email wise, ANT. That's Ant Cuffie, CUFF as in Fred IE at yahoo.com. Please give me a call if you have any questions.
Fred.
Concerns. Have a blessed one.
Okay, and I will see you this afternoon on Table Talk, and you know there's a lot to bring to the table today. See you later, and see you next Friday, where I have Mike Duggan
Let's
on.
bring the issues to the table on Table Talk with Brenda Perryman. Table Talk is Detroit's only talk show where co-hosts come to the table to discuss issues that affect you. Join Brenda and her co-host Cheryl Ajamu, Dr. Rose Moten, Attorney Tiffany McEvans, Ken Coleman, Chris Summerall, and Robert E. Thomas. Join us every Friday at 1 p.m. on TV 33 WHPR, Comcast 20 in Detroit. Streams live on www.tv33whpr.com. Got an issue? Bring it to the table.